War was once about survival. Kings fought for land. Empires fought for control. But something changed during the Industrial Revolution. For the first time in history, war became industrialized. Factories could mass-produce rifles. Steel plants could build warships faster than ever. Railways could move armies across continents. And suddenly, war became scalable. The more conflict expanded, the more industries grew. During World War I, companies producing weapons became economic giants overnight. Machine guns, artillery, explosives, millions died. But manufacturers made fortunes. And after the war ended, many of those corporations became even more powerful because governments realized something dangerous. War stimulates economies. Factories reopen. Jobs increase. Production rises. National debt expands. And powerful elites gain influence. Conflict became more than politics. It became an economic engine. In 1961, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower gave a chilling warning. He called it the military-industrial complex, a hidden alliance between governments, weapons manufacturers, politicians, and defense contractors. His warning was simple. If war becomes profitable, peace becomes dangerous for business. And today, that system is larger than ever. Global military spending now exceeds trillions of dollars annually. Countries compete to buy missiles, drones, cyber weapons, AI targeting systems, nuclear technology. And behind those weapons are giant corporations, companies whose profits explode during geopolitical tension. When fear rises, their stock prices often rise too. Think about that. A missile launches somewhere on Earth, and investors thousands of kilometers away celebrate market gains. War has become financialized. Conflict became a market. For over a century, oil has been the blood of war economies. Modern militaries run on fuel, tanks, jets, warships, supply chains. Without oil, modern warfare collapses. And history repeatedly shows something strange. Many global conflicts happen near strategic resources. The Middle East became one of the most militarized regions on Earth. Why? Because beneath its deserts lies enormous energy wealth. Entire geopolitical alliances were shaped around oil access. Governments needed energy security. Corporations needed extraction rights. Banks needed stability for global trade. And wars often followed, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. Control resources, and you control economies. But oil wars created another massive industry, reconstruction. After destruction comes rebuilding. Roads, power plants, hospitals, infrastructure. Private companies receive enormous contracts worth billions, meaning some industries profit during war and others profit after it. The cycle feeds itself. Destroy, rebuild, repeat. Wars are expensive, extremely expensive. Governments borrow massive amounts of money to finance conflict. And that creates another hidden winner, debt institutions. Historically, banks have funded wars for centuries. Empires borrowed money to build navies. Kings borrowed to hire armies. Modern states issue bonds and accumulate gigantic national debt. During major wars, governments often print more money. Inflation rises. Currencies weaken. Citizens suffer economically. But large financial institutions often adapt faster than ordinary people. War reshapes wealth distribution. And sometimes, the average citizen pays for conflict long after the war ends, even generations later. Some countries today are still economically damaged by wars fought decades ago. Not only physically destroyed, but financially trapped. Modern wars are not fought only with weapons. They are fought with information. Narratives shape public support. Fear becomes a powerful tool because populations rarely support endless war willingly. Governments need emotional justification, security, patriotism, fear of enemies, fear of collapse, and media plays a massive role. During conflict, news cycles intensify. Images spread instantly. Social media amplifies outrage. Algorithms reward emotional reactions. The result? People become psychologically mobilized. And when fear dominates society, governments often gain more power. Emergency laws expand. Surveillance increases. Military budgets grow rapidly. War changes societies internally, even far away from the battlefield. After every major war, someone rebuilds the ruins, and rebuilding entire nations is enormously profitable. Construction companies, energy corporations, telecommunication firms, security contractors, entire industries emerge after destruction. Some experts call this disaster capitalism. Moments of chaos become opportunities for massive contracts. Billions move quickly during crises, and ordinary citizens rarely understand how large these financial flows really are. Wars do not only create destruction, they create markets. Markets for rebuilding, markets for security, markets for technology. Even private military companies now operate globally. Modern warfare increasingly mixes governments with corporate interests. The line between state power and private profit becomes blurred. The next global wars may not begin with bullets. They may begin with code. Cyber warfare is becoming one of the fastest-growing military sectors in history. Hackers can now disable power grids, attack banks, shut down airports, manipulate information. Artificial intelligence is entering warfare rapidly. Autonomous drones, facial recognition, predictive targeting systems. And once again, massive corporations are racing to profit. Technology companies increasingly work alongside governments. Data itself has become strategic. The battlefield is evolving, and future wars may be fought through algorithms, financial systems, and digital infrastructure. The scary part? Most civilians may never even realize a war has started. Behind every war statistic, there are real human lives. Families destroyed, children displaced, cities erased. While powerful systems compete for influence, ordinary people often carry the greatest burden. Higher inflation, economic instability, refugee crises, psychological trauma, and yet history keeps repeating itself. Because war remains profitable for certain systems. Not for soldiers, not for civilians, not for families, but for industries built around conflict. And that raises the uncomfortable question, if peace became more profitable than war, would the world look different? Maybe the greatest empire in history is not a country. Maybe it's the global economy built around perpetual conflict. An invisible machine powered by fear, money, and human suffering. Destroyed cities fading into stock exchanges and luxury offices. The next time you hear about war, follow the money. Because behind every conflict, someone is counting profits. And sometimes the real battlefield is economics itself. Like, subscribe and share the Shadow Empires to see what others don't.